my channel was taken down without warning. And for a long time, everything went offline. Only now, in 2025, has YouTube begun restoring old channels, and here I am, trying to resume this work. But take note, some topics can't be spoken about directly. What you'll see here lives in the subtext. Because in this digital arena, speaking openly about certain themes can come at a cost. Listen carefully. Watch the signs. Connect the dots. Get ready to dive into information that goes far beyond the headlines. End of manipulation. Humanity is ready to discover who we truly are. Welcome to Geopolitical Update. Monday, October 27, 2025. Some say humanity is undergoing a silent transition. Sources claim that each day, new information emerges, challenging the traditional understanding of reality. What was once dismissed as theory is now revealing itself as part of a much larger game board. The emotional reaction of people discovering they've been misled for years could be intense. Observers suggest this shock may cause imbalance, especially among those unfamiliar with these ideas. The contrast between belief and revelation can trigger confusion. So, how do we avoid collapse? In certain circles, it's said that understanding the bigger picture helps soften the impact. When people realize there's a process unfolding behind the scenes, perception shifts. The unveiling of hidden truths must be gradual. Otherwise, rejection is immediate. Reports suggest the so-called EBS, Emergency Broadcast System, may already be subtly underway. On social media, content about mysteries and revelations is multiplying. This could indicate that the initial phase has begun. Quietly. At some point, according to military sources, this information may be officially disclosed. Those who've already gone through a process of awareness will be better prepared. Others, especially family and close friends, may react with surprise or resistance. Among the most sensitive topics is the origin of the human species. Ancient documents suggest genetic interventions were carried out by a civilization known as the Anunnaki. According to these sources, the Anunnaki were a human race with advanced technological and biological development. Records indicate that original human DNA had 12 strands, designed to enable greater cognitive and spiritual expansion. But this pattern was altered, reduced to just 2 functional strands. The result? An evolutionary block. Preliminary analyses suggest this race inhabited a specific region of Earth, often referred to as the 5th zone or 5th terrestrial ring. Though they presented themselves as extraterrestrials, these beings were actually humans of a distinct typology. Throughout history, they assumed positions of authority, even posing as deities in various cultures. This strategy contributed to the manipulation of human civilization, maintaining control structures that persist to this day. Sources tied to strategic intelligence suggest these limitations were imposed by hidden power groups associated with the Anunnaki. They allegedly delegated tasks to intermediaries, known as servants, responsible for maintaining control through religious, scientific, political, and economic institutions. But that dominion may be ending. According to behind-the-scenes reports, a coalition known as the Earth Alliance has taken command. Its first priority? Neutralize underground structures and protect vulnerable populations. The deepest revelations will come last. Some say that, at a certain point, galactic beings may present themselves publicly. This event would mark the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. The ships are already here, observing and intervening when necessary. Phenomena like shooting stars may be linked to clashes between opposing forces. Their presence isn't officially acknowledged, but is documented in countless accounts. Direct interaction with these beings depends on collective maturity. Contact won't be imposed. It must be earned. Meanwhile, the priority is to protect the most vulnerable. That's why other actions, like releasing sensitive information, are being delayed. The Earth Alliance's strategy is to avoid panic and guide the process gradually. Revelations will be presented in the final stage, with documented records and testimonies. These materials were reportedly recorded in analog formats, to ensure authenticity and prevent digital tampering. Justice will not be punitive, but restorative, based on balance and merit. The separation between humans and non-human entities is part of the process. Certain non-human presences, sources say, are being removed from Earth. This isn't driven by revenge, but by the need for rebalancing. Universal justice operates under natural laws, which don't distinguish between good and evil, but between harmony and imbalance. The plan is guided by quantum intelligence. This system evaluates the consequences of each action and adjusts the pace based on collective response. If a revelation causes panic, it's postponed. If it supports awakening, it's released. This logic allows the process to remain flexible and adaptive, respecting each individual's timing. The execution of the plan requires patience and discernment. Even though many call for immediate action, sources linked to the Earth Alliance affirm that the strategy in place is designed to protect those who have not yet awakened. Time is extended, not out of inertia, but necessity. Each phase is carefully planned to avoid abrupt disruptions and preserve the emotional stability of the population. In diplomatic circles, it's said that the Alliance chooses to operate within legal and constitutional boundaries. This approach aims to prevent retaliation and uphold the legitimacy of the process. The phrase within the four lines symbolizes this commitment to legality, even if the opposing side disregards these rules. The Alliance maintains its stance to ensure the plan is executed with integrity. Justice, in this context, is not based on appearances, but on essence. Entities that do not belong to the human race would be judged according to their nature. The separation between humans and non-humans is part of the planet's rebalancing. Some say that, by the end of this process, humanity will be better prepared to understand the truth, without collapsing. Revelations will be presented with documented evidence, authentic records, and preserved testimonies. The goal is to leave no room for doubt. Reconstruction will not be merely institutional, but also spiritual and cultural. Sources suggest that humanity stands before a unique opportunity to redefine its values, its structures, and its relationship with the universe. And each individual, by understanding this process, becomes an active part of the transformation. The transition is underway. Light has prevailed, according to these narratives. Collective awakening is inevitable. And each person, by grasping the process, can contribute with balance, discernment, and responsibility. The plan follows a strategic logic. The Earth Alliance prioritizes actions that protect the most vulnerable. Neutralizing underground structures and safeguarding at-risk populations are considered urgent. Revelations, though eagerly awaited, are reserved for the final stage. The intent is to avoid extreme reactions and ensure the population is emotionally prepared to understand the facts. Confidential reports mention the possibility of a temporary blackout. If it occurs, it would be brief and controlled, affecting communications or power in select regions. The purpose would be to create a moment of pause. allowing information to be absorbed more clearly. The strategy aims to preserve stability and prevent panic. According to military sources, many involved in illicit actions have already been brought to justice. Trials were reportedly recorded in analog formats, to ensure authenticity. Universal justice is not punitive, but fair. It operates on merit and balance. The plan moves at a calculated pace. Each phase is adjusted based on public response. The goal is not speed, but consolidation. Rebuilding society involves more than removing corrupted structures, it requires strengthening essential values. Collective consciousness is expanding. With each revelation, new layers of understanding are accessed. Awakening is not a single event, but a continuous process. And each person, by aligning with this new reality, contributes to global transformation. Reconstruction is not only institutional, but also spiritual and cultural. Humanity faces a rare opportunity to redefine its values, systems, and cosmic relationship. And each individual, by embracing this process, becomes a vital part of the change. As the plan unfolds, discernment becomes increasingly important. The volume of available information demands heightened awareness. Not everything circulating online reflects the reality behind the scenes. Understanding the process requires more than curiosity, it requires responsibility. Awakening isn't just about consuming content. It's about developing critical vision, capable of distinguishing noise from signal. Preparing for the new cycle also involves strengthening internal values. The transformation ahead is not only external. It calls for a new attitude toward life, relationships, and human purpose itself. Collective consciousness is being called to mature. This growth won't come by force, but by choice. Each person is invited to decide, remain in illusion, or walk toward truth. Those who have already awakened play a crucial role. It's not about convincing or imposing ideas, but about maintaining calm in the midst of chaos. When structures begin to collapse, many will seek support. In that moment, those who understand the process can offer balance. Listening, compassion, and clarity will be more effective than any speech. Rebuilding society will require collaboration. No group, no matter how prepared, can complete this transition alone. It will take united effort, respect for differences, and recognition that everyone has a role to play. The diversity of experiences will be one of the greatest assets of this new era. The plan continues. The pieces are moving. Each day, new truths emerge, and old systems lose strength. What was once hidden is now being revealed. And though the process is gradual, it is irreversible. The light can no longer be contained. Awakening is not a destination, it's a journey. And that journey is just beginning. While the backstage moves in silence, the global chessboard continues to reorganize. Sources connected to strategic circles say the coming days will be decisive. Not because of a major announcement, but because of what will be left unsaid. The silence between acts, analysts say, reveals more than the speeches themselves. The Earth Alliance continues to operate quietly, but the opposition has already crossed every line. Tension is rising, and time waits for no one. Each day, new pieces are placed. Each night, old pacts are broken. What once seemed unlikely is now becoming inevitable. Military sources confirm, the plan remains in motion. Flexible, adaptive, and relentless. But the theater isn't over yet. Brace yourself. Because when the curtains fall, there will be no room left for doubt. End of the report, folks. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and join the conversation in the comments. If you'd like to support us directly, consider making a donation using the link in the description or the QR code on screen. Your contribution helps us work better, and keeps this project alive and independent. Thank you so much. And see you in the next report. This content is a narrative adaptation based on publicly available themes in global geopolitics. The version presented has been reinterpreted with a unique style, while respecting the original creator's copyrights. It is based on publicly available information, analysis, and opinion, and is intended solely for informational and entertainment purposes.